Hello, welcome to the video number 6 in the FUME tutorial series, and this time we're gonna work with profiles. I have blood pressure information here with status, patient social security number, a systolic value and a diastolic value, and FHIR demands that this type of observation will be represented as an observation resource that conforms to the blood pressure profile. So the blood pressure profile has a URL. I can use that as the declaration instance of, and this is the canonical URL. I can also open it from here, and if we have a look, we have a lot of definitions here for the category, for the code, for the systolic and diastolic components. They have fixed units of measure, and instead of reading the profile and trying to adhere to it manually, as you can see, FUME already read the definition and all of the fixed elements are already here. So all I need to do is say that component slice name systolic BP value quantity value equals systolic, and component diastolic value quantity value equals, that was not the right field name, that's the systolic field name, and let's copy diastolic. There we go. We have the correct codes according to the profile. We have the value from the source data and the correct system and code for the unit of measure, and of course the category, which is vital signs. We also have the meta profile tag, which says this observation resource adheres to this profile. Another option is to say the instance of BP, which is just the ID of the profile. This also works. And let's see, we also want to put the status. So as usual, my source data has local codes for statuses and FHIR defines other codes. So let's just say that the status equals, it would be final if the status in the source data is active. Status active, then final. And here we go, status final. Another thing we can do, make it a little bit more human readable. So for example, the category here, it has only a coding but no text element. So I can just add category, and I want to add the text element to this category. So it is a slice in the profile, it has a name, it's called VS cat period text equals vital signs. So that would be a little bit more human readable. And also we can say in the components that we want text elements, or maybe we want additional codes in the components, for example a local code, or in the code itself. Let's go for the code itself. So code coding, and inside this let's put the code, and let's say that we have a local code for blood pressure, and that code is BP. And let's also say that it has a display of blood pressure, and as you can see, it's still one code element with two separate codings. One of them is the required coding from the profile, and I did not need to address it in the Flash script. It is automatically inserted, and we have the additional local code that we have defined in the script. Now let's just add the patient reference. So if you remember from the previous video, we can search the server for this patient and have a reference to it. So that would be the subject, and let's just say that the subject type is patient and the subject reference would be literal of patient with identifier that equals patient SSN. I need to use the ampersand sign here. Let's see. Okay, we have a subject with a reference. Our search condition was replaced with a literal reference, which is a URL pointing to the resource with the resource ID. And one other thing that you can see here is that the order in which we define the rules in the script has changed in the output, because FHIR defines that the JSON elements have a fixed order, and this is why in the end, when FUME parses your result, it reorders the tags according to the order defined in FHIR. So you see the subject is here before the component and after the code, and the category and the status are above the code and the subject, and in the script this is a totally different order. So that would be a good example of working with profiles. It makes your life a lot easier. There are just a few lines of code here that creates this whole blood pressure document. Thank you. See you next time.